Here we go. Oh my word. No notice, just straight off the cuff, we've gone live. Cheers. Well, when you're the first one on board, let me know how things are going. We've got nobody here yet. I'm just going to log in at this end so I can see things that are going on. Hello, Jim K. How's it going, mate? You all good? You're the first one on board. And three. Hello from the USA. Oh well, looking good. I'm not too sure about that. Not a good kit. Maybe that's helped. And the sound is great. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. I'm just going to open things up at this end a little bit as well, so I can see what's going on. Just bear with me a second. There we go. Oh, adverts. Right. Okay. Well, I've got a little bit of a framework for today. And I've no idea how long it's going to go on for, so that really depends on you and how long the old power supply will last for. An apocalyptic time at the moment, isn't it? And my life in the last couple of weeks, is, like many of you, I suppose, has been very, very topsy-turvy. There's been lots going on, lots of changes, making decisions, and then having to review those decisions and make different ones, basically. And in a nutshell, I started to work from home from Friday of last week, and I had the weekend just as normal. So I was working the Friday and the weekend just in the workshop making some videos, and there's already a couple of those videos have already hit the channel. And then Monday, Tuesday, working from home, and then I get notice on Wednesday, based on the lockdown decision by Jacinda for New Zealand, that Marcus, nice to see you. Better to have. Yeah, I know. The tool girls are on in lockdown. They can't come out, unfortunately. Much to my disappointment, as well as yours, I'm sure. But New Zealand now is in lockdown. It went into lockdown at midnight last night. What time is it now? I have no idea. It's just gone 9 a.m. So I've been in lockdown for just over 9 hours. And, well, I'm feeling fine. No problems at all. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't left the house since I got home on Friday. Oh, greetings from central New York. Cheers, Walter. Appreciate that. John. Oh, it's disappeared. Hang on. Let's see if it's on this one. John, the carburetor are you going have a second part on using... Yes, I was. You're quite correct there, John. I do now have the little tube, and it's on my list, very long list of videos to make, where I'm going to show you how to set a float height on a carburetor. And there are different methods that manufacturers adopt depending on the make and the model of the bike. But a simple way of doing it, and one of the common ways of doing it, is using a tube. And basically you just connect the tube to the drain at the bottom of the float bowl, undo the little nut, and hold the tube at the side of the float bowl, and it'll indicate the level of the fuel in the float bowl, and you can take measurements from that and adjust your float height accordingly. But there'll be a video on it at some point, and maybe I'll make a note of that. That's one of the videos that I'll do for you in the next 4 weeks during the time that we're on lockdown. Jim K. Oh, hang on. I've got to keep jumping. I've always wondered what the tool girls do for the main source of income. That's a very good question. And I know we joke around by saying that they all live under the house, although Mrs. Mechanic wouldn't be too happy about that. It's obviously nice to have them down there, but that really is, hate to burst the bubble, it doesn't happen very often. Yes, there's a dungeon down there, but no, I'm only kidding. They actually work. Lily, Holly, all of the tool girls, Sam, they're all really busy with day jobs. And of course, at this point in time, they're all locked up at home as well. They can't go anywhere. So, bit of a problem. I did have, well, quite a few videos scheduled with the tool girls. We've been putting together new outfits for them, bits and pieces. You might have seen the new leggings going out that Holly wore for us in the last Lego build that we did. I do have a Lego build planned between two tool girls. It's Lily and Holly. Fingers crossed that still goes ahead, but that obviously it has to wait until things are back to normal. So, any more questions? Yes, they're all on here. Fortunately, on my phone, which I'm filming from now, the questions you ask only show for a few seconds, whereas on the laptop, they stay there for a while. So that's why I keep looking down to the laptop. My apologies. Thomas Thompson, Hello from my USA. Well, hi Thomas, appreciate that. What have we got here? Oops. Oh, KY. Is that Kentucky? I guess it is. Okay. Steve Bark. Nice lathe in the background. It is. It's a little old Boxford lathe that I bought from a school up near Warkworth, just north of Auckland, and I paid 1,500 New Zealand dollars for it. And it was the school department that they did their metalwork in had closed down. So very sad to see that the students now are not learning these basic skills of using a lathe and a milling machine and pillar drill and that kind of stuff. But hey, times are changing, aren't they? What do we got here? Oh, thanks for answering. Hey, no problem, John. Easy. Marcus, I've always wondered how Andy's missus trusts him with the tool girls. Mine wouldn't. That is a story, a very long story, probably for another day, but just to give you an idea, Mrs. Mechanic is incredibly tolerant with me. Um, yeah, I mean, it must be really difficult for her to see these gorgeous young ladies come down, put on outfits that I asked them to put on, where they're revealing quite a lot of their skin and looking, well, pretty damn sexy, to be honest. And that is the whole idea of the Tool Girls. It's to give me some company in the workshop, to have a bit of fun, and that really is all it is. And maybe to teach them a little bit as well. And what I do find, when I first started making these videos, for the first sort of 18 months, I was doing them all on my own. Tool Girls didn't exist at that point. And I got regular comments that when I was doing a technical video explaining how something works or how to diagnose a problem, I would often overlook the most basic aspects of that diagnosis. I would take things for granted. You know, I'd already thought about it, I'd already moved on. And with having a tool girl or an assistant in the video who really, a bit like a student really, that doesn't really know too much about that particular subject, they're in the learning stage, they will ask these obvious questions, and that gives me a prompt in some respects to address it. So that's another reason for having the tool girl. It's almost like when I was teaching the students back at Unitech, which I stopped doing a few years ago now. What else have we got? Zedman, since some nice serious lighting you got in the back there. Yeah, well, there is, and at the moment it's not flickering. These are just LEDs. Not sorry, LEDs. These are just fluorescent tubes. And sometimes on camera you get this flicker, and it's really, really annoying. I have started to put LED type lighting in the workshop, which that's why I'm so bright at the moment, because there's one just at the back of the workshop here, and it does make a big difference. But there are different types of LEDs that, so I understand it, different frequencies of that the LEDs flash at, and you need to get a very high frequency driver, so I'm told. So these ones seem to do pretty well, but I have still noticed the odd flicker now and again. So something I need to really investigate and do a lot more research on when I come to replace these lights. Although, to be fair, I want to keep the housing, the metal housings. I quite like these little sort of, commercial, industrial style strips of light that they give, and they're a good strong steel casing. They came out of a prison, believe it or not, in Auckland. So I want to insert some round LED lights into there, pull out the guts and put those in there, just to retain the actual frame. But again, all takes money, and that's going to have to wait a little bit longer until things get back to normal. What else have we got? Ronzi. I can't speak Russian, mate. I'm really sorry. I'm sure what you're saying is great. Hello from New Zealand, and I imagine you're probably in Russia. If not, tell me where you are. Nikita, do you know? No, I don't know Russian. Does anybody know Russian? What is he saying? I have no idea. Anyway, so what are we here to talk about other than drink tea? Well, cold tea. It took me a while to get this live stream up and running. I wanted to actually, I had actually made a thumbnail to go with the live stream, but it wouldn't let me upload the thumbnail in advance. It just took a picture. Such is life. So yes, I am in. No, not quarantine. Quarantine's the wrong word. I'm on lockdown here in New Zealand. I have to stay home for the next 4 weeks. My employer has told me that I have got an income for the next 6 weeks minimum, which is a bit of a worry. That was quite a shock yesterday, what I was told. But I have got a lot of work to do. I will continue to work. For those of you that know what I do as a job, I don't want to disclose it on the live stream. But for those of you that know what I do as a job, it involves me looking after lots and lots of dealerships around New Zealand, and quite a few of those dealerships, because they are providing a service, repairs and maintenance to ATVs and ROVs around to the farmers, which is the primary industry here in, or one of the primary industries here in New Zealand. They are permitted to be open, and of course things break, they break down. So obviously, those dealers do rely on my assistance to give them some help, especially with the diagnostic side of things. Services, they can be pushed back a few weeks, not the end of the world, just keep checking the oil and stuff. But when the bike breaks down, the farmer needs it fixing straight away, and that's where I come on board should the dealer have any problems. What else have we got? You love you love a Japanese girl? Hey, send one over. I'll happily put her in the tool girl outfit and see how she gets on. Yeah, I'm open to all races, to be honest. They're great fun in the workshop, wherever the tool girls come from. Zedman, I love Tang tools. What's the tool hanging up in the background? Looks like a ring gear. Reminds me of very good point. Right, Zed. I think I'm pretty sure what you're after. Here we go. This one here. Is this what you're talking about? There we are. Look. Well, this is a tool, the very first Andy Mechanic special tool, and it's going to be going soon. I am developing a website at the moment for all sorts of stuff that's going to get sold around the world. But this is a special tool. I can't tell you exactly the model it's for. You'll have to find out via the website. But many ATVs and ROVs nowadays have a CVT drive. That's a belt and two pulleys. These pulleys vary in sync. They vary in diameter to change the ratio. No more do you have, gears, first, second, third, fourth, like you do on a motorcycle. A lot of ATVs have these CVT drives, which makes it so much easier to drive, and the farmers love it because they don't, usually they're doing other stuff, holding lambs or whatever it is, and changing gear is just another thing that they would have to do. And when you service those CVT drives, you've got to be able to hold the sheave, and there's different ways of doing it. And this is being specially designed to go onto the outside of the sheave. There's some little lugs that this keys into on these little teeth here, and it holds the sheave positively, so you can actually apply the torque, the correct torque, when you're doing the nut up. There you go, very technical. So you'll see more of this kind of stuff in the future. When I see a need as a mechanic stroke engineer, and I know I can fulfill that need, that's what I do. That's what we all do, isn't it? Right. But well done, Zed. That was a very good question. What else have we got? John Bladikas, is that right? Hope so. Do you get Fortham and Mason tea from London, England? I don't. I have no idea what I've got. I tell you what I do though. When I'm at work and I go around all over New Zealand, I stay in lots of different hotels, and they're very nice hotels. I get well looked after, to be honest. But you get in the hotel, you get like a little box, and it's got little packets of tea and bits and pieces. And I always bring those home, so I get a huge array of different brands of tea to drink. Also keeps the cost down, doesn't it? And especially in this time of apocalyptic scenario that we're in, that big stash of tea bags that I've got should keep me going for quite some time. I won't need to go out to the shops. Although we did get some powdered milk the other day before we had to go lockdown. That's probably going to change the taste of the tea quite considerably, isn't it? Anyway, what else have we got here? Zedman, yay, good man. Okay, oh my God. Jigaus Broek, greetings from Amsterdam. Hello, Amsterdam. This is New Zealand calling. Now, Learn Mechanic, recognise that name. What do you miss the most about not living in the UK? My old business, to be honest, and the countryside and the forest that we used to operate in. Yes, and of course my friends. I left a lot of friends behind in the UK, and when I left, it was a very sudden thing that happened. It was force majeure is probably a bit too strong a word to use, but I had to leave. Basically, I'm not going to go into the reasons why, but I had a 15-year business that I've been running, and it had grown and grown and grown, and of course the global financial crisis hit. We were basically a tourist attraction, and of course people don't go to tourist attractions when they don't have any money, or they're trying to save the money for more important stuff, like toilet roll that's going on around the world at the moment. So I made a decision after 15 years of hard work and investment and scrimping and saving to buy more and more vehicles for the off-road driving centre that I had. I just knew it was going to take too long to recover, and I'd already bought a house here in New Zealand, so the natural thing to do was to get over here and start again, which I have, and it's great. Thoroughly enjoy it, love the country, but do miss certain aspects of England for sure. What else have we got here? Nikita, wow man, are you from the future? We have March 25th. Yes, New Zealand is probably one of the first countries to on the what do you call it, the time differences around the world. We usually, we are ahead of the majority of the world when it comes to time. So yes, welcome to the future. What else have we got? Geo Carrion, hello from India. Great to hear that. But how will you get new parts for all the work? Now that is a really, really good question. And it's something which I've been involved with on a sideline quite a bit in the last few days. Like I mentioned before, there's a number of motorcycle shops, ATV shops around New Zealand, all in every major town and city, to be honest. And they are in exactly the same boat. They, because the majority of them repair vehicles for that are used by the primary industry. That's and farming is one of those. So the farmers are still doing their job. They've got to look after the animals and produce food for us all. They need vehicles to do that, and those dealers, most of them are going to stay or keep their workshops open to provide for that that demand from the farmers. They're a necessity, to be honest. But again, those dealers need parts to put on the vehicles. So again, that then feeds up to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer is also classed as an essential business and has to keep providing those parts. Otherwise, the whole thing grinds to a halt. Doesn't matter how good a mechanic you are, if you can't get the parts, usually you can't fix it. Unless you're Ivan. Ivan from Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics can usually fix just about anything without needing any parts. He's a great guy. Hi, Ivan. Now then, what else have we got here? Oh, sorry if I'm missing you out. They're coming through quite quickly. Geo Cherian. Hello from India. There we go. Look, so good question. Machine NZ. Hi Andy, great to catch the live stream. Yes, I didn't give you any notice whatsoever, and at the moment it looks like we've got 31 people watching, and that's fine. I just really wanted to have a little chat, and of course lots more people will come and view this video after it's been a live stream. So yeah, welcome aboard. It's nice to have 30 people to talk to be perfectly honest. Now then, can you show that on the street? What can I show? Say again, Ronzi. Explain what you want and I'll do my best to help. Zedman, all the best, mate. Stay safe. See you around, Zedman. Good to have you on board. Drew Dastardly, great name. Oh, here we are. Look, it's Fortnum and Mason, but I suspect Andy drinks Yorkshire tea. Taylor's of Harrogate. I have been to Taylor's at Harrogate long time ago as a kid with my mum actually. And Yorkshire tea, yes, we do buy Yorkshire tea every now and again. Very nice. Low Mechanic, will Mrs. Mechanic be appearing as a tool girl anytime? No, Mrs. Mechanic won't be a tool girl. She will be popping in every now and again into the videos, bringing cups of tea and coffee and bits and pieces. And she has been in some social media shots, and she is in a video a long time ago when we went on the luge. I think it was in Rotorua from memory. I'm sure it was. We did a luge ride, and I had the GoPro strapped, and I did a whole video on that. It was great fun. It wasn't really in line with what the channel's all about, but hopefully it gave people a little bit more of a background as to my private life. So there you go. Need more questions? All right, we'll move back to my schedule of things. So videos, yes, I've got lots of videos planned, but I do also have to or intend to keep working. So You know, it's important that I provide the support to the network that I do normally support. So it's going to limit how much I can get done in the next 4 weeks. But hey, it doesn't matter. Normally I'd be at work anyway, so whatever I get done is a bonus. Oh, there you go. Yes, Mrs. Mechanic was also in the Skipper's Canyon video. That was a very cool drive, to be perfectly honest. And just to clear up a few rumours, I wasn't really scared. Back in the UK, I did an awful lot of off-road driving around the Yorkshire Dales and the Lake District, driving up rivers and mountains and all sorts of stuff, and used to lead groups around on a regular basis. And when things went wrong, it was down to me to get them off that mountain. You know, whether it was winching them out of a big bog hole or repairing the vehicle and getting them mobile again. So I do sort of know what I'm doing, but I was having a lot of fun making that video. And the one thing I don't like are heights. I do find heights, as I'm getting older, heights, and even looking up at a tall building, gives me that weird sensation that it's not a good idea. And I think it all stemmed from, which is really weird, we were at, years ago when the kids were young, we went to Disneyland in Paris, and they had a teapot ride where you could sit in these sort of circular open teapots, and you could grab the rail and you could spin the teapot. Now, the whole thing was spinning around on a big sort of carousel anyway, but you could independently, as passengers of these teapots, spin them separately. So me and Ben would be about, oh, I don't know, 10, 11 years old at the time, we grabbed the rail and we were spinning that teapot as fast as we possibly could. And then it all sort of went wrong. We started to feel really, really ill. And ever since then, that sensation keeps coming back, whether I'm looking at tall buildings or looking down into canyons or whatever. And I suppose self-preservation things jumps in as well. I just don't like the feeling that I might fall. Anyway, that's just me. I don't know what it's called, but that's sort of how things are at the moment. A few more questions, right? Greetings from New York City, from S&A Auto Repair. Hey up, mate. How's it going? You good? Hope everyone is safe. We are all very safe. The kids, 2 are up in Auckland, 1 is in Canada. So if you're from Canada, please look after little Charlie for us. She's doing really well at the moment. She's just moving house in a couple of weeks' time across border, so she's got to go into quarantine for 2 weeks, or lockdown, or whatever you want to call it over there. Ben and Eloise, they're up in Auckland, and again, they have, as of like 11 p.m. last night, just finished moving house. So they're all in one house now, which is great, and they can look after each other and keep safe and support each other, because I'm down here. I'm down in Taupo, or Taupo, as somebody I know says. Anyway, what else have we got? Kitten Kelly. No, Kitten, that's not a good thing to say, is it, to be perfectly honest? You shouldn't be doing that. We're all here to support each other. So if somebody wants to go in there and delete that message for us, that'd be great. In fact, it's just said it twice. Anyway, Nee Wisson, you're back. I recognise that name. Hello, Andy. Love your work. Lots of love to you and the Tool Girls from Canada. Right, Nee, you've got to look after Charlotte for me. She's in Canada somewhere, and if she needs some help, I'll send her your way. Now then, Tom James, I understand heights of a building, but heights of mountains seems silly. There's not going to be... No, it's not so much the heights of mountains. It's if I'm looking up at a tall building from the pavement, that causes me a problem. And if I'm on the cliff edge and looking down to down a ravine to a river, and there may be a few hundred feet drop, then again that gets me. Looking up at a distance to a mountain, no problem at all. Love it. I love the views. Okay. Walker. Greetings from Sunset County, Northern Ontario, Canada. Stay safe and healthy. I will do my very best. I'm going to be in the workshop for the vast majority of the time. Even yesterday, to be perfectly honest, I was in the workshop doing my work, my day job, and I had the door open, bit of fresh air. It was a lot better than being working in the house, to be honest, and it's just as comfy, in all honesty. What else have we got? Simon. Hello, Simon. How are you, mate? Evening, Andy, or morning to you? It is morning. I was going to do the live stream late last night, But then I looked to see what time it was in the USA, and you were all in bed. So I thought, well, that's not bloody good. We'll have to do it in the morning. So here we are. It's, I don't know, what time is it here now? It's 9:30 on the nail. Andrew Thompson, can you do your work via video conference? My wife is teaching via video. Yeah, I can do. I mean, the diagnostics support that I offer is usually over the phone. Give the guys some direction as to where to go next based on the results that they've got, their findings. And email, you know, if we're using a scan tool or the scope, they'll fire the emails through as screenshots and bits and pieces, and we'll work from there. To be honest, yeah, live stream. I could do it via live stream. I could do that, but it would just take a bit more setting up. And unless it's a really serious problem, I mean, normally I would go, if it was really serious, I would actually go to the dealership. I would travel there and assist personally, but obviously that's not an option at the moment. So that's definitely something to bear in mind. Thank you for that. Not a problem. I'm on the East Coast, lol. I'll let her know. Easy, mate. Nick Harrer, hello from San Jose, California. Probably pronounced it completely wrong in my Yorkshire accent. Hello there. How are you? Hello, Nick. Right, Scott. Hello from the UK. Hello, Scott. I hear the UK is getting hammered pretty badly at the moment with this virus thing that's going on. So good luck to you. Keep safe. And remember what everybody's been saying, you know, this is, certainly here in New Zealand, this is an isolation period now. We're in lockdown. I'm not too sure if the UK is yet or not. I know London was having some terrible times with the spread. If you've been told to stay at home, stay at home. We've got to get this thing out of the way as soon as we can. Listen to the, I think Hammond, Clarkson and May, they made a quick video recently telling people or advising people, look, you know, stay at home, and it's the best advice. You don't want to catch it, and you definitely don't want to pass it on if you're a carrier. Right, Tom James. Hello, Tom. How are you, mate? What have we got? Tom says, will you be doing the finishing touches to the workshop while you're at home? That's a really good point. The problem is, bear with me here a second, because I'm going to move from my seat. Oh, you probably guessed already. Golly gosh, too much stuff. Right. The problem is, yes, I've got some more steel work. The beams are all the beams that I'm going to do for now, the three main transverse beams, the ones that go from side to side, they're all in place. Two are painted, one isn't, and the longitudinal pieces that run down the middle here. The reason for the banner is there's all my motorcycles, on majority of them. There's some behind me that they can show in camera. They're a different brand. The ones that are behind that banner can't show on the channel. So I put found the old Teng Tools banner and put it up so it screens that side of the workshop. But yes, lots of those beams do still need to be painted. And I've already taken the wall out, so I've got to prop everything up, prop the roof up to take them out to paint them. Problem is, a bit skint at the moment, to be perfectly honest, because the steel work costs quite a bit, and I'm busy doing a carport outside, and then Mrs. Mechanic said, oh, you know your carport. Can you make a deck while you're on? So we've just started making a deck as well. And the other issue is, there's not really much paint left, so I need to get some more paint, and there is absolutely no primer. This is the primer stuff. There you go, look. That's the primer that I used. And that's quite an old tin now, because it was a while ago when we painted them, wasn't it? With the first beams. And that one there, and it's, has it got a code on it? I don't think it has. No, I just asked them for like an industrial yellow, which is what they made me, so they'll have to match that up again, no doubt. But you'll see there's still a lot of timber up in the roof, and a lot of it's doing nothing at the moment, so all that can come out. And I've got some more steel work that I bought under this big workbench. It's all been cut to length, it's under there, and there'll be some beams basically, oh pardon me, that's breakfast, running between those transverse beams to link them all together. And those beams will then screw to the final timbers, which the corrugated iron is screwed down onto. And that will, once it's done, lift all the lighting up by about another 8 to 9 inches. Yeah, imperial for you Americans. So it'll give us slightly more height, because at the moment this side of the workshop is pretty low, to be honest. It's just to say usable. I can get an ROV in here, but as soon as I start jacking it up on this side to take wheels off and stuff, then the roll cage side of it, the roof, will start to hit the lights. But at the moment, all these lights can be moved around. They're all on little hooks on chains, and they're just plugged in via a multi-board. So they're really easy to move around, and that helps a lot with filming. And that's something which I want to continue to be able to do, once I've replaced all the lights with the LED ones. Oh, lots more questions. Here we go. Simon. Yes, Simon Rawl again. Hello, Simon. I was using, you sent me, Simon, you sent me some little center drills for the lathe, didn't you? I remember that. And I actually used one of those the other day. I did. I was making some parts. In fact, I was making, if you can see, can you see it up there or not? Let's have a little look. Maybe you can or not. I can't get it down because it's screwed to the workshop. But just up there, there's a big steel bracket. And I was making some little donutty things on the lathe, some spacers, and I used your center drill for that, and it worked perfectly. Thank you very much. A really good bonus. Now, I remember we used to have those at school for our lathes, and I've just never got around to buying any, to be honest. I forgot all about them. So, thank you. So, Simon, where did he go? Evening, Andy. You've done that one. Here we are. London have taken it big time. The UK is on lockdown, but is not getting enforced yet. Okay, so it's like a voluntary lockdown at the moment. It needs to be enforced. I mean, Ben was, like I said, Ben was moving house last night, getting the last couple of loads taken to the new house up in Auckland, and he said that there was police everywhere. He said he'd never seen as many police around Auckland as there was last night. And New Zealand, if you didn't know, has gone into lockdown as of midnight last night, so hence all the police presence. White phosphorus. A virus can't be airborne, nor will it ever be. That's very good to know. That's good to know. So obviously when you wear the face mask, it's just to stop, I suppose, spit when you're talking to somebody being transferred. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I just fix stuff. But good to know. But, end of the day, if you stay away from other people for the next few weeks, hopefully we're all going to get back into a decent world again, aren't we? Because things are really, really bad at the moment. It's, what is it, over 20,000 people dead now, and according to the website that I looked at this morning, 420 odd thousand people have been diagnosed with it. I don't know, it's just ridiculous. Nee, how many years have you been a mechanic? Well, that's a very, very good question, and my background is quite different to most mechanics. Most mechanics, they'll go to college or whatever, and they'll get trained up, and then they'll go into industry, do their apprenticeship to become fully qualified. And obviously it varies around the country, how around the world, how long that takes to do, and then they'll become a mechanic and work as a mechanic for the rest of their lives. That's sort of the norm. They may branch out and open their own workshop and become self-employed, or they may stay as an employee. At the end of the day, you're still on the tools. For me, it was quite different. We had a dealership, a car dealership. It was a Nissan dealership back in the UK, and it was a business that was owned by my parents, and it went back sort of three generations. His father and family ran it, and my great grandfather started it, Mr. Norman Ankers, back in 1907 with his brother, and then it split, and they each had their own dealership. And I went off to college at the age of 19, I think it was. 19 it would have been, to do a 2-year course in automotive engineering. It was called motor vehicle engineering and management was the title. It was a higher national diploma. So I went off and did that. I was the youngest one in the class. Did that, thoroughly enjoyed it. Met lots of really cool people, as you do when you're at college. Had a great time. Did lots of things that I don't regret at all. Actually, they were great fun. And then I got a placement with the Petra scheme at the time, I think it was, where you got a work placement in Europe. And originally I was going to go and work at the Seat factory in Barcelona, but they wanted too high a level of Spanish speaking ability, and I didn't speak much Spanish at all at the time. So I went to go work for Mercedes, or Mercedes as they call it, over in Barcelona. I worked there for about 3 months, I worked in every department, did a whole week. Every department, had a great time. And then came back to the UK and started my own business, but not specifically at motorcycle or car repairs. I started an off-road driving centre, which was my passion. I used to love going off-roading, and but it did require a lot of maintenance on the fleet. So we had ATVs, four-wheel drives, little Suzuki Jeeps they were at the start, SJ410s and 413s, and I really applied my knowledge that I'd learned at college, and I'd always been fixing motorbikes anyway since I was about 12 years old, onto keeping that fleet going and training up the mechanics that we employed, just to get them, better at doing what they did, so it was more efficient, basically. I did that 15 years, and then I came over to New Zealand, and I wanted to just change a little bit and just have a year to chill, to be honest, because it was the last couple of years in the UK were extremely stressful. There was lots of problems going on with the business and authorities pushing us around, trying to make us do things and stop doing things, and it really jeopardized the viability of the business. So it took away a lot of the fun aspect of what we were doing. And we did make a promise that, the day we stopped enjoying doing what we did, we would stop doing it. And that's exactly what we did. So I came to New Zealand and I retrained as a qualified Shimano bicycle mechanic. And I worked for a company called Bike Barn in Auckland, in Newmarket, for a year. Thoroughly enjoyed myself, learnt a whole new skill, because it's quite different working on bicycles. And the technology at the time, as it is now, was very quickly increasing. There's lots of new types of components coming through. You had all your hydraulic brakes and things starting to come through on domestic bicycles, as well as your high-end mountain bikes and stuff. Your downhill mountain bikes, awesome front forks on them now. There's that, again, suspension is a specialist subject all on its own on those bicycles now. And then, because I was working on the skill shortage list, I had to they took bicycle mechanic off the list, and I was working on a work visa at the time, so I had to then side shift across to motorcycle mechanic. And again, the qualifications and experience that I had allowed me to do that job, and I got a job as a service manager at a well-known motorcycle dealership in Auckland. Did that for about a year, and then again they took motorcycle mechanic off the skilled shortage list. I'd also, while I was a bicycle mechanic, attained the authorization to do warranty fitness on motorcycles and cars, and I found that really helped to open some doors as regards getting a job, especially in moving jobs, being able to walk out of one job straight into the next. Having that warrant certificate for those vehicles was a big bonus. So if you're thinking of coming to New Zealand and you are a mechanic, then I would strongly recommend you get your warranty fitness license as soon as you possibly can, because it really can help. From that, they took motorcycle mechanic off this skill shortage list, and then I had to sidestep across to being a car mechanic. And for 18 months, I worked at a Firestone depot, doing wheel alignments and servicing and bits and pieces on cars, and a lot of the warrants, to be honest. I was the warrant officer there. And then I saw an advert put out by Unitec in Auckland for an automotive lecturer. And I thought, well, I've done a bit over the years. I know a bit. I'd like to maybe contribute and teach and pass on the knowledge that I've got to the next generation. Maybe feel really old, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I got on really well with the students. We had a great time. I'm not a qualified teacher by any means, but the approach that I had with the kids was very well received. They learned how I taught. They enjoyed the way that I presented things and explained things. And the kids got very good results. We had absolute success, to be honest. And that's really where the YouTube channel started. That's the roots. I started to make videos for what we call Flip Classroom. So they would watch a video, let's say, about how to strip down an alternator, and there's one on the channel, test all the internal components, and then how to reassemble it and fix it and that kind of stuff. So they'd watch that video the evening before class, and then when they turned up in the morning, they pretty much knew everything anyway, and they could get straight on the tools and put into practice what they'd seen on the video. And what I found was the students would have their mobile phone on the workbench, and they would play the video again for the second time, and then just stop it as they go. And they found it really, really helpful, because especially the students where their first language wasn't English, they could pause the video and look up the word to fully comprehend what was going on. So that really got me into doing videos. And, you know, after 5 years of working at Unitec as an automotive lecturer, I decided 5 years was enough, and I secured a job with a major motorcycle manufacturer. I'm not going to say the name. Those of you that know the name, keep it to yourselves. I don't like to disclose it too much on the channel. It gets me into trouble at work, actually, which I don't want. I don't like that at all. I'm well respected at work. They sort of tolerate the YouTube channel. There's been a bit of friction there. But hey, this is mine, and I thoroughly enjoy doing this, so it's not going to go away, that's for sure. Anyway, there's lots more questions come through. Let's keep going. Yeah. So, Nee, hopefully that's answered your question. I do ramble on, don't I? Okay, Tom James. I'm in Nottingham, and the police are out and around here, but just not enough of them. Well, no, there's a lot of people live in Nottingham, isn't there? Probably about as big as Auckland, I would say. Simon, Tom James, not in the south, not in the northeast, so you're not seeing so many police up there at the moment. Slingshot Dingo, what a name! I like that. Slingshot Dingo. Good day from QLD. Yeah, that's in Australia, isn't it? I believe. We are in border lockdown 2. Do you remember the oval chain ring and the theory behind it? Oval, yes, I do remember that. They also, I don't know the theory behind it though. They also made, you can also get like an oval geared oil pump as well, can't you? But no, you've got me on that. You'll have to tell me in the comments. Oval chain ring. I wonder if it's to do with traction. We're talking about chain ring on rear sprocket chain ring. Tell me. You got me going there. Tom James, Simon Roll. I live on the border between Nottingham and Derby, and keep getting Facebook reports of police telling folk to go home, but still areas not covered. No, but here we are in full lockdown. We've been told we cannot go anywhere unless we go shopping, basically. But I've told Mrs. Mechanic that we're going to do online shopping from now on. It'll just get delivered to the gate, and we'll take it from there. You know, I don't want to take any risks. I do suffer from asthma. That's no secret. I was diagnosed with asthma, as many people were, at a young age. And in 2001, when I was doing my ATV instructor training course, it was, I remember the day now, it was a really cold, wet, slushy, snowy, wintry, windy, nasty day, and we were outside all day long, and I caught pneumonia. So I have to be really careful about you know, this kind of stuff that's going around. It probably would affect me a little bit more than somebody that's fully healthy, I'm sure. So quite happy to stay in the workshop and make videos. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Now, yeah, cool. Okay, right. Questions are all done. Let's move on a little bit. Yeah, so lots more videos to come. Although I've already mentioned on my little bit of cardboard, and I've got my little sort of crib sheet. You've got to have one of these because you get distracted all the time. Part supply. Very good point. Yes, I'm going to fix lots of things while I'm here, but supplies and parts will all have to be sourced online and delivered. So what I can't do, and of course, you know, funds, I've got to be very careful how much I spend at the moment as well, because, you know, you've got to keep your little stockpile of gold there just in case you need it for the zombie apocalypse that's probably going to follow. I don't want to be ordering tons of steel for the workshop. You know, I've got all those stuff on the bench. I've got a full gas bottle for the MIG. I've got a spare roll of wire. So I could probably weld for all week long and still not run out of gas, to be honest. I can do a lot of that. I do have a list of videos. If there's any videos that you think that you would like me to do, or if you've got any preferences, do send me an email, actually, because what I've noticed with these live streams, and there's all these comments streaming down the side, which I'm very, very grateful for, and they really help to build the content of these live streams. But when this video goes out later, after we've finished the live stream, those comments, I couldn't find them. They all seem to disappear. So I don't know what's going on there. Very strange. So send me an email. It's andymechanic at live, L-I-V for Victor, E for elephant.co.uk. Yes, I've kept my UK email. So andymechanic at live.co.uk. Send me an email through if you've got any ideas of videos that are not yet on the channel, something that I haven't yet covered that you'd like me to cover. Obviously, just bear in mind that, you know, I can't go anywhere. I can't go and buy something. It has to be something that I've already got here. So maybe you want me to cover something again in more detail, or you've got an idea, you've seen something around the workshop. Hey, Andy, what's that? Talk about that. How does that work? I don't know. Lots of you pick up loads of things on the videos that I tend to overlook. Zach Grubb, good day. Nice channel. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Simon, sanitize the bags and tins exact when you get them. That's a good point. Yeah, so when you go shopping, you know, just wipe everything down and then take it in your house and you're all good, aren't you? Time for another slurp of cold tea. Okay, so what's next on the list? Right. Well, talking about parts, you might have noticed, and somewhere behind me, can you see? Yes, there, look, is Tool Girl Lily's farm bike. Now, one of the last videos that went out was me fixing the ignition barrel on that. And somebody mentioned in the comments on that I could have had the ignition barrel, what's the word? You know, you change the lock to suit the original key. The little tumblers can all be adjusted to make the old key work in the new barrel, or replacement barrel, should I say. Getting a sore throat. Jeez, I haven't caught it. Yes, I could do that, but it's expensive to get that kind of stuff done, and it involves traveling and talking to people. And currently, if you hadn't noticed, there's something going on around the world where we're supposed to be staying at home to try and keep safe. So that was repaired with the stuff I had in the workshop, and no, I didn't want to spend any money on it. It was you know, I fixed it with old parts. Anyway, that bike is still waiting for me to fit the rear lights. It needs a pair of indicators at the back. I fixed one of the front indicators that wasn't working, and it needs a tail light. So that brings me on very nicely to the next part of this live stream. I ordered, and yes, I paid good money for it. The bike was very cheap to buy, but it's cost a reasonable chunk to get it all fixed. And this, you will laugh at. This is ludicrous, to be honest, how much this cost. I ordered a tail light, and the supplier said, "Oh, we can get you a second-hand one, Andy. No problem at all." So they sent me this one. This tail light here, look. That's the mounting there, look. The mounting bolts are in the vertical orientation, one above the other with the wire in the middle. This is the wrong one. This is for the farm spec DR200. It's all right. I'm not dying. I just talk too much. That's what it is. So that has to go back. I've already got 2 bikes in the garden with those on. No good to me. So I asked the dealer. At the same time, I ordered the rear indicators. Now, I've not even been in here. Let's have a little look. I saved it for you guys, so you never quite know. Hopefully these are going to be right. But these are brand new from memory. These came all the way from Japan. I like it when you get stuff from Japan, because you get little packets like this with the part numbers on. So let's see what's in here. I'm going to make a mess of it all. It's really neatly stapled up and everything. Look, absolutely fantastic. Very happy with that. What's in there? 2 little tiny top hat washers, I think. Don't want to lose them. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh no, nuts. All the way from Japan. All right, M5 flanged nuts. God, I'm sure I've got some in the drawer. But anyway, it's all right. I just said order everything I need. Have done with it. Right, I'll put those over there so I don't lose them. We've got some little little plastic insert mounts there. Look. So you'll see a lot more about this when I come to fit these lights. But let's get one of the lights out and have a look at the lights. And look, unfortunately, parts here in New Zealand are ridiculously expensive. So there we are, look, a brand new rear indicator. And I'm not going to tell you how much these cost, but man, they were expensive. They were really, really expensive. I might come across the invoice shortly. And then you get this little tiny plug on the end of it, look. Minute, but that is pretty standard for Suzuki's, that style of plug. I remember when I worked on Tool Girl Sarah's GSXR 750, that had the same style plugs. that's the part number there, look, for that light. Now they are handed. Pretty sure they're handed, so the part numbers should be different. Yes, they are. So that's the part number for the other hand. No idea which is which, okay? Only one number different. So, let's have a little look. There we go, look. That's the other one. So we've got both indicators for the rear. Brand new. Because the bike's going to go for a warranty fitness. I'm not a warranty fitness inspector anymore. It lapsed, and in my current job, didn't have time to do enough bikes to keep it alive. You've got to do, I think, 20 warrants a year to keep your license, and for some reason, didn't happen. So, by the looks of it, that's all the parts. I'm not sure that all the parts are there, but that's all the parts they've sent me, I think. Okay. I do have one bike out back that's got a rear indicator on it that looks very similar, that might have some of the bits that I need if there are some missing. Now, just for reference, just for interest, supposedly the correct rear tail light has now turned up. I got a parcel come through in the post, about 2 or 3 days ago. So, let me find my knife. There it is. Right, there we are, look. I know Eric can do a little flick thing, can't he, from South Main Auto. This knife doesn't work like that, so I can't do the Eric flick. Okay, bear with me. Let's have a little look and see what we've got in here. Try not to stab myself. It's quite a sharp blade I've got in here now, so I was doing something that I needed a sharp blade for. Oh, there might be something in that envelope. Maybe not. No, it's alright, it's just an envelope. We're all good there. Right. God, I'm making a mess. I watched James May on Drive Tribe last night, and he was opening so many parcels. If you want to send anything through, by the way, just while we're on the talking a bit about parcels, and Simon knows about this because he sent me some stuff through a while ago, and we've had quite a few parcels. I don't do mail call very often. I only do it when parcels do turn up, or letters. If you want to send something through, then you can send it to my PO box address, which is, I'll put it down the bottom of the description. But if you've got a pen to hand now, or if you want it, send me an email. I'll give you the email address already, which is andymechanic@live.co.uk, or send me a message just through the YouTube channel on any one of the videos, and I should pick it up. The PO box address is obviously Andy Mechanic, PO Box 6265 Wellesley Street, and that's Auckland 1141. So if you send it to that, make sure you put on there PO Box 6265, otherwise they won't know where it's going to go. And you will definitely, guarantee, give you a shout out in the next video. This is a hell of a box for a tail light. Okay. Now the good news is, they haven't sent me an invoice yet, which is great because I can't really afford to pay it at the moment. It's alright, I know the supplier really well, Dave won't mind. Okay, so the part number is, for potentially the correct tail light, is that part number there, look. Okay, let's have a little look inside, see what we've got. I hope it's the right one because I want to get this video, I want to get the bike finished. I can't take it for a warranty fitness at the moment, but at least I can get it all finished. Ooh, it looks right. It looks like the right one. Bloody should be what it cost. And that was a trade price as well. There we go, look. So what we've got now, if you remember the old light, there's the old one. The mounts are in the vertical orientation. And this one is in the horizontal, so the bolts are side to side. And of course the wire in the middle. So that's what we needed, and it's for the road. It's got the reflectors built in on the side and everything as well. So, and of course the number plate lights, which of course that one has as well. Bit grubby, but that was $80 New Zealand, which is a lot of money to be honest. And this one was, I'm not going to say how much it was. I'm sure you can ring your local Suzuki dealer and quote them that part number there, and they'll tell you what it is. Very expensive. Toolgirl Lily is a very, 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 very lucky tool girl, believe me, and she knows it, which is great fun. Get on very well together. Right, What's next? So yeah, I've got all that stuff. I can now do a video on doing the rear lights on Tool Girl Lady's farm bike. There you go. Right, next. Tool Girl filming. Well, we sort of brushed on this a bit earlier on. I did have quite a bit planned. I want to do a... Oh, hang on, bear with me. There's always stuff around the workshop that can... Oh, there we go, look. You might remember, I had some fun one evening, drinking much alcohol and with Tool Girl Holly, and we did the Lego build of that Audi Quattro rally car, which was great fun. I had a great time doing that. And it sort of got me thinking, really. And it all actually, the idea came again from one of the videos that James made with Hammond as well. So I thought, well, I'll give that a go. It looks fun, and we did it. And it was fun, and we asked each other Top Gear questions. And if we got it wrong, then the person that got it wrong had to have a drink of alcohol, which wasn't so negative. It was quite a positive thing. So I think there was quite an incentive to get the question wrong, to be honest. But anyway, it worked really well. Had fun. So I had planned to do a Lego build head-to-head with obviously a different style Lego model between Tool Girl Lily and Tool Girl Holly. And this was going to be planned in Auckland in a pub, which would have been fantastic. But of course, things just went wrong. And, you know, we can't do that at the moment. Now then, what else have we got here? So we've got Simon, yeah, done that. Zach. Slingshot Dingo, yes. Dexter Liam. Fatty. I don't know about that. What's going on there? Dave Ski. No, we don't do that. No, there's none of that going on. They're just great to have around the workshop. Good fun. Tom James, I know you're paying. Kia want to charge me £500 for a drive shaft. That's ridiculous. I mean, okay, we all know that margins on new vehicles for manufacturers has been getting less and less and less over the years. Dealers get less of a percentage on the sale of a new vehicle now as they used to do, whether it's motorbikes or cars or whatever. They all seem to the margins are narrowing, and the income, the profit that dealership can make usually comes more from the servicing and from the parts. You know, as the ownership of that vehicle progresses, and the owner might keep it for 3 years, and people that buy brand new cars like to have them serviced at a main franchise dealership, and you know they have all the tools and hopefully the expertise to fix them. But they do make a lot of money doing it, don't they? Yeah, parts are bloody expensive these days. Jimmy Lincoln, heck, I'm late. No, you're not late. You mean you're late for work, Jimmy, or you're just late watching the live stream? Because it's going to keep going for a while yet, I wouldn't worry. Dave Ski, are you gay? No, definitely not gay. There's no problem with that. Have a lot of fun with the Tool Girls, but, you know, I am married. You know, there's Mrs. Mechanic in the background. She's probably in the kitchen, actually, just getting cleaning up from breakfast. That's not the kind of thing that I can do. You know, you've got to be careful. Anyway, so lots of strange comments coming through. What's next? So yes, Tool Girl filming is unfortunately suspended for a while. I've got a few ideas in the pipeline, things that I can do with us apart. Because at the end of the day, they've got a smartphone. They can do some filming where they are. They've each all got their Tool Girl outfits with them, so there's no reason why they can't wear them for the video. Or it might even just be a phone call. Who knows? Let me come up with a plan, or see if I can put the plan that I've already got into action, because it'd be great fun if I can. So at the moment we're on lockdown for 4 weeks, and so 23rd of April things potentially should return. I wouldn't say back to normal, but we will be able to travel again. In which case I can do some more filming with the Tool Girls. Until then, it's just me on my own. I have to put up with it. RB was once told by somebody in the know a brand new Bear engine was £3,500 from a dealer new. That's pretty good. But the price the manufacturer was buying them from another manufacturer was £750. I can believe that. The markup on parts is astronomical. It really is. Where did you find your wife? Playing crazy golf is where I found my wife. Thank you. Yes, RB, there is a huge markup on parts. So going back to the filming with the Tool Girls, it will have to go on hold, but I've got a few ideas to keep you all, you know, give you some kind of content with regards, tool girls. Now, I am currently, or was just before this whole world thing started to happen, starting to develop a website. Now, that website is still about the design of it is just about to start to happen in the next few months, next couple of months, and it's going to have basically lots and lots of tools on there for sale that you can get at discounted prices. And those tools, the plan is to be able to ship them all over the world. Obviously, the cost of shipping is a factor. Got to just be careful about how we do that, because at the end of the day, I don't want to make a loss. But the margins that I'll be making out of the whole thing will be certainly quite nominal. On there as well, there'll be a lot more Andy Mechanic merchandise, and of course those special tools that I was talking about. So we've got, if you weren't here earlier on, this is the first official Andy Mechanic special tool. And if you're watching this live stream earlier on, you'll know what this is for. If you don't, well, maybe somebody in the comments will tell you that's still around, because I hate to repeat myself. But yes, there's going to be lots more of those. Very specific usage. That tool only works on one particular model of vehicle. But if you've got one of those vehicles, then really, really helpful. Now then, what else have we got here? Dave Ski, has your wife ever been in one of your videos? You've written Ben, but I think you mean Bean. Yes, she has. She's been in the Skipper's Canyon video, and also a luge video that we did in Rotorua a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, quite a while ago anyway. Jimmy Lincoln, Dave Ski, are you high? Well, hey, I've no idea if Dave Ski's high. Dave Ski, how long have I been married for? Well, I met Mrs. Mechanic when she was 15 years old. Yes, and I've been with her ever since. I've been married for quite a long time. Ben is 25, so we've been married 26 years. There you go, that's how I remember it. Otherwise, I get into big trouble. I could be a few months out, but 26 near enough. How many kids have I got? 3, and they're fantastic. And they all love what I do. Tom James, time to go to bed, up early in the morning. Good night, and stay safe, everyone. See you around, Tom. Good to have you on board, and thanks for your comments. Do appreciate it. Right, so where are we now? So yes, the website hopefully will be up and running and live by October this year. There is a stage 2 for the website, and that is in, I don't know, readiness, preparation, call it what you like, of YouTube. Now, we've all seen that YouTube content has been ever more restricted over the last couple of years. They keep tightening up the rules and telling you, and reducing down what you can cover in your videos. This is a common trend between for YouTube channels, especially the larger ones. Nothing really my size, but on that website, the plan is where you'll be able to watch the whole library of Andy Mechanic videos via the website via a monthly subscription. So they'll all be advert free, and there'll be special videos which will be website only ones available to the website subscribers. Obviously, all the videos will continue to be posted on YouTube in exactly the same way that they are. It's just an additional platform should at some point in the future things become more difficult on YouTube. For example, what I'm talking about are specifically the tool girls. Yes, I don't think they're in breach of anything to do with YouTube. If they were, I'm sure that they would let me know. Some of the videos can be quite raunchy. The girls can show quite a lot of skin at times. But I think it's all, just in jest, isn't it, really? It's just a bit of fun, tongue-in-cheek stuff. And I think YouTube understand that at this point in time. But who knows, in the future, some of those older videos might fall foul of the new rules that YouTube implement, and those videos would have to be taken down. Now, that would be a terrible shame if they're lost, and I do have them all saved on a number of different hard drives for security at this end, and they will obviously still remain available via the website. So that's the plan. That is the plan. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of money, and a lot of time, but eventually it should happen. So watch this space. Within the next 6 months to a year, that should be up and running. All depends on the pennies, to be honest. Okay, now at the moment, until the website's up and running, you can purchase some Andy Mechanic merchandise should you want it. These shirts, for example, I know they're expensive, but they are absolutely brilliant. I still wear some of the very first shirts that I had made 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. Yeah, one of them's just started to fray down the bottom on the little lip at the bottom. It's started to wear through, but you know, I've worn them an awful lot in the videos. So you can get those shirts from Uniform NZ if you go onto their website. They're based in Invercargill, New Zealand, and you can buy them online and they'll ship them out to you. They also have the Tool Girl shirts on there as well, and I think there's some shorts and jackets as well that you can get with the Andy Mechanic logos on them. And they're all properly embroidered, nothing's printed. As a secondary thing to that, because I appreciate that they're all quite expensive and then you can put shipping on top as well, it does get pretty pricey, to be honest. And we don't sell that many of them. You can also go on to zazzle.co.nz. That's ZAZZAL from memory.co.nz. There's an Andy Mechanic YouTube. It's all one word, Andy Mechanic YouTube, one word. I'm on there as a creator, and you'll find on there some more Andy Mechanic themed stuff, key rings, mugs, that kind of stuff. And I've only just recently launched that, and that was at a request when I designed the leggings for one of the Tool Girls. Somebody contacted me and says, one of the viewers said, hey, I want to get my wife a pair of those. Where can I get them from? So I made them publicly available through Zazzle, so you can get those. Eventually, I think all of it will get put on the website, on my website, the Andy Mechanic website, which is getting developed over the next few months. Anyway, enough of that. We've got more comments. Austin. Oh, hang on. Geo Cherian, I can't thank you enough for the long videos and every single detail, and I don't skip in your videos. Thank you very much for that. Austin Crawford, hello Austin, hope you're okay. Chris Seddon, hi Andy, all the way from the UK. Man, it must be getting quite late in the UK, so good job for watching at this time of night. It'll be over there, early hours of the morning probably. Austin Crawford, new subscriber, welcome aboard Austin. Dave Ski, no, I'm not high, that's good to know, Dave. Dave Ski, are you religious? Not at all, I'm not religious. However, I do believe something out there is looking after me. I ride motorcycles on a regular basis, have done all my life, and I've had many near misses. I really shouldn't be here. Something out there, don't know what it is, keeps me going. Austin Crawford, coming to you from Illinois. Hello, Illinois. Dave Ski, what is your favourite Ratchet? Oh my word. Well, I like to be honest on this channel. My favourite Ratchet, I don't have anymore. I can't find it. I had it in the UK. It was a little snap-on 3/8 ratchet, and it had like a yoke with a round ratchet that pivots in the middle, and that was really cool. Lasted for years and years and years, but I think somebody borrowed it and didn't bring it back. But saying that, as you well know, I use old Tank Tools equipment now, and man, the little ratchet that's in there, I'll go get it, hang on, just bear with me. Oh, here we go. Right, ratchets. This little 3/8 ratchet is the same one that Tang gave me when I was teaching at Unitech, before I even really started doing the YouTube channel, you know, I wouldn't say full time, but really got on board. This was given to me originally to use in the classroom with the students, and it's done probably 4 or 5 years, and it's still absolutely bang on. Never had to do anything with it but use it. Never had to service it, never had to pull it apart. And I'm pretty rough with some of my tools, to be perfectly honest. You know, it's had some serious torque put through it. And I mean, let's face it, they're not supposed to be used as power bars. They are just a ratchet. And it works great, and they're not expensive. And I'm not trying to plug Tank Tools, I'm just saying that they are really good value for money. And Tang was the first socket set I ever bought when I was at college. There you go. That's probably one of the reasons why I stuck with them. And I'm very, very happy with the gear that they supply me. And a lot of it I buy. It's not all given, you know. It's a amicable kind of arrangement we have going on. What else have we got? Nigel Fuster. What made you choose Tang tools compared to other manufacturers? Well, I have used. I mean, look. Okay, I've got a toolbox behind me here. Let's see what we've got in here. Look, spanners. We've got. Just grab one. We've got a gear wrench. Still works. That one I would have bought in England. Oh, probably 20 years ago, 18 years ago. Still works. What else have we got? What's this one? Ah, we've got a Kennedy spanner in there. Look, 22 mil. Use that on a regular basis. How worn is it? It's got a few. Some of the coatings come off. Some of the chrome has come off, but it's still in perfectly working order. What else have we got? We've got. Oh my word, this is pretty basic. We've got a very cheap monkey wrench made by Forged. There you go. Look, put that back in the toolbox. We've got. Oh, I don't really use that. We've got a Draper Expert ratchet. Again, don't really use that very often. It's just there as a backup. But, you know, I really have a huge mixture of tools, especially in that old Snap-on toolbox that came from the UK. I bought that toolbox 25 years ago, and it's still going strong. Well, one of the runners is broken, but apart from that, it's all right. And it's in a filthy condition, and it's a bit rusty, and I've never cleaned it. And that's just the way it is. Never have time. I just fix something, chuck my tools back, and get on with it. Anyway, so I'm amenable to a lot of different brands, but what I do look at is quality. And yeah, I think I just saw. Do Tang tools have a lifetime warranty? Yes, I believe they do. I mean, obviously, abuse isn't covered under warranty, but if it's a manufacturing defect, then of course I'm sure that they would cover that under warranty. But you'd have to check, with them directly. I don't work for Tang, and I'm not clued up on their exact warranty criteria. So when you buy a tool, I'm sure there'll be information on their website. Your local Tang supplier will be able to supply you the warranty information. But I rarely break anything, to be honest. Maybe the odd screwdriver because I'm using it as a pry bar or a chisel or something. Misuse is not warranty. If I was using it as a screwdriver and it broke, then yes, it would be covered under warranty. But it's good gear and it's not over expensive. I don't have any problems at all with Tang, and otherwise I wouldn't buy it. What else have we got? Do you have any Mac tools? I don't have any Mac tools. Do I have any Snap-on tools? Yes, I do have some Snap-on tools. I used to have. In fact, there we go. There is a Snap-on tool. Look at that, Snap-on, and it's a 17 swivelly end spanner with a sort of a built-in socket on one end. Very useful and very, very strong. You can put a lot of torque through that. It doesn't cause any problems at all. I have some little dumpy combination spanners, Snap-on. They're still kicking around somewhere. I've got loads of Snap-on sockets. They're still around. Yeah, I have. In all honesty, I've got ammo boxes full of spanners and screwdrivers and stuff that all came from the UK, from our workshops over there, which are still packed up. You don't need lots of duplicates of tools in your workshop. They're just packed away, and one day maybe I'll pull them out and give them a clean and hang them all up when the workshop's finished. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. What else have we got? The Salamander. Are you going to make more? Oh, hang on. It just jumped off the top. Bear with me. Are you going to make more wiring diagrams and explaining more modern wiring diagrams? Yeah, I suppose, as the videos come along that require it, I'm quite happy to grab my piece of cardboard and sketch up what the circuit is. It makes it a lot easier to understand, doesn't it? Simon Watling, cheers for the videos, man. Stay safe to you and yours. Appreciate that, Simon. Really do. It's a troubling time at the moment. We don't quite know how things are going to pan out, do we? But no, please, you keep safe as well, and do follow the guidelines and the advice given to you by the powers that be, because to be honest, they pretty much know what they're doing, most of them. Slingshot Dingo. Slingshot is a nickname given to the magically insane Suzuki RGV 250. Phenomenal bike. Have you or do you work on RGV 250? I haven't. I'm sad to say I haven't. We did have a lad that worked for me in the UK. He had an RGV 250, phenomenal bike, and I've seen plenty of them, and I've helped people diagnose faults on them, but I've not put a spanner on one yet, to be perfectly honest. And they're like hen's teeth here in New Zealand. Very, very few of them around, and they're certainly classic bikes now. Dave Ski, where are Teng tools made? I think they're made in Taiwan. I think so. That's a very good question. How would I know? I don't know. What have we got here? These are some little pics that I got the other week. But I don't think there's any. Chuck the box away now. Yeah. Pretty sure it's Taiwan. Pretty sure it is. It's not China, that's for sure. Now then. Do Teng tools have a lifetime warranty? Yes, they do have a lifetime warranty. Moto Dans, how long have you been in New Zealand? Just over 11 years. Came out on the 20th of January 2009. There you go. How's that from memory? Simon Rawle, Dave Ski, yes, Teng are good with it too. Yes, they are. They're very good with their warranty side of things. This message is held for review. Dave Ski, which... Oh, very good, mate. Yeah, we're not going to watch that one. Yeah, we'll hide that one. Thank you. Right, what else? Reynold, Floors Luna. Hola, amigo. I can't pronounce it. El Ratchet, K Masa, Ella Mango. I need English. I can't understand that. I get the first bit. Hello, friend. Dave Ski, what is crazy golf? Do you know what crazy golf is? Just Google it. It's like a miniature golf course, and you've got to hit your ball over bridges and all sorts of stuff. It's not like a normal golf course. It's fun. It's not boring. It's quick, and it's something you can do on an evening and have a pint while you're doing it. It's good. It's a good laugh, actually. Ever wear eyeglasses? Do you mean eye protection? Yes, I do. I use Teng tools. Look, I've got these. They are filthy. I've got some cleaner ones. Hang on. Here, look. They're all scratched. Those ones. These aren't too bad. So yes, I wear these, and I wear them a lot. But I don't wear them for grinding. If I'm doing any grinding, I will wear. Oh Jesus! Nearly fell over. A full face mask. The reason for it is these are not good enough when you're grinding. The sparks will still get in your eyes. I speak from experience. So if you're grinding, wear a full face mask. Simple as that. I only wear those glasses if I'm doing sort of, I don't know, soldering maybe, or drilling holes on the pillar drill. Anything like that, then I'll wear the safety glasses. Okay, Jimmy Lincoln, off subject. I tried to bleed the hydraulic clutch on my daughter's KM250. Probably mineral brake fluid, by the way. And I've stripped the threads on the slave cylinder. Can you recap? I think you mean retap. Can you retap them? Because I'm skint. Well, it's going to be an aluminium casting, so you'd have to go up a size on your bleed nipple to be able to retap it. You couldn't just put a tap in on the standard size because there's no metal left. It's pulled the threads, hasn't it? Yeah, it probably could, but I think the first thing to do is to find a bleed nipple that's slightly larger, and then have a tap that's the same thread, and then just go on to Google, find out what drill size you need for that particular thread size, drill it out gingerly, as Eric would say, and then tap it, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be in luck. More Spanish. Can't do Spanish. Sorry, guys. If anyone can translate, that would be very helpful. Something to do in Mexico. Don't know. Dave Ski, do you play any musical instruments? I am probably one of the most inept people at playing any kind of musical instrument. I have no rhythm, no beat, I just can't dance. Pretty crap, to be honest. Do love music a lot, but just can't do anything with it. Nick Harrer, Website says Taiwan. There you go, I was right. Which part of the UK? I was born in Kendal. That's a secret. Don't tell anybody, because I am Yorkshire. So I was whisked back into Yorkshire very, very quickly in the back of Dad's Mini Cooper S. I was twin fuel tanks as well, a proper Mini Cooper. I was a few weeks early, I believe. I was born in a cottage in the middle of nowhere outside Kendal. The cottage now, I believe, is gone, and but I've lived all my life up until I came to New Zealand in North Yorkshire, around York, Scarborough, Pickering, that kind of area. So maybe if I hadn't had the beard, people would recognise me a lot more. Don't know. Okay, Jimmy Lincoln, thanks Andy. Hey, no problem, matey. All good. Simon, Jimmy Lincoln, time search will be a better job. It would. Time certs are great. Using the helicoils, I'm not a helicoil kind of fan. Time cert would be absolutely excellent, but I was really looking at the cost aspect there, given the fact that you and I are both quite skint at the moment. Don't want to spend too much money doing it, and a time cert kit, they're not cheap. A tap, pretty cheap. But anyway, see how you get on. I think if you try and tap it out first to the next size up, and that doesn't work, then you're going to have to fall into the time cert world. It might just be cheaper just to replace the whole thing. I don't know. Time certs, like I say, are not cheap. Simon Wattling, yes, for the full face mask. So many idiots tear their faces up. They do. I've had I use those really thin slit discs when I'm cutting steel, and if you're not careful, sometimes they can fail, and a big chunk of it can fly off and hit you. And if you're only wearing the goggles, it's going to get straight into your cheek, or it's going to hit your face potentially. Other goggles to be really careful of, actually, so I haven't got any kicking around, are almost like the chemistry lab style, and they have little air vents, all around the outside, and I've had sparks flying through those little tiny pinhole air vents as well. So again, not a good idea. Wear the full face mask. Job done. It's easy, and it doesn't steam up as well as quickly as goggles, so to speak. Do I like ZZ Top? Yeah, sure, I like ZZ Top. They're pretty cool. Old school band. Do you ever ride the public bus? God, the last time I was on a bus would have been at the end of semester 1, the first semester of teaching at Unitec, and I took all the students out to the pub, and then we ended up in a strip club, which was great fun. Obviously, only the ones that were over age to go in, and then got the bus home. Simple as that. So yes, I have ridden on a bus at some point. Not really a fan of public transport, much rather be in control myself, to be honest. Jimmy Lincoln, thanks Simon. Terry Hart, hello from Kerry, Northland. Stay safe, Andy. Hello, Kerry, Northland. I've been there. I've even stayed there, and I had lunch there as well. Beautiful part of New Zealand. So thank you, Terry. And yes, you keep safe too, matey. I've no idea, and none of us do, how things are going to pan out at the moment. Dave Ski, do you have Mac and Marco tools in England? Yeah, Mac tools you can get in England. I've seen those around. Marco, I don't remember, to be honest. I haven't seen them here, and I can't remember the Marco brand being in the UK. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there. It might have been a brand that maybe came out, after I left the UK. Simon Watling, so many workshops in New Zealand use tools with no guards. Glad to hear you're teaching good practice. I am teaching good practice. I'm very safe in most cases, but my angle grinder, hang on, you'll have a laugh at this. Okay, the comments are going to start now. Here you go. This is my new rechargeable angle grinder. You saw the last video where I've pulled the old one apart that needs new brushes and bits and pieces. They're on order, they'll be here for a few weeks. But yes, what's missing? Oh, the guard is missing, and yes, my fingers have made contact with the disc on a few occasions, especially a flap disc. That was the worst one. You might see that little scar on my knuckle there. That was right down to the bone on a flap disc. It just basically just caught the disc like that. Bloody hurt for weeks, to be honest. No, I didn't go to the doctors or anything like that, but maybe I should have done, because you could see the white knuckle bone. It was horrible, and it was all like burnt and cauterized. I knew something was wrong because I could feel this sort of vibration through my finger. Anyway, there you go. Put the guards and keep the guards on your angle grinders, people. Don't do what I do, because otherwise you'll have scars all over your hands. It's not a great idea. There we go. Sean Craggs. Hi from Gateshead in North East England. Hello, Sean. Hope you're well and hope you're keeping safe. And please try and keep indoors as much as you possibly can. We really need to stop the spread of this bloody virus thing. Okay. The Salamander 121. What food do you miss most from the UK? Well, I miss fish and chips in newspaper, which of course is completely illegal nowadays over there. And oh, pardon me, that was breakfast. Heinz baked beans and proper sausage rolls, Coupland's Bakery and Thomas the Baker's. Proper sausage rolls. You can't get them over here. They taste like shit in New Zealand compared to England. To me, anyway. That's a personal opinion. Am I allowed to say that word on YouTube? Probably. Well, I already have. But yeah, sausage rolls. Loved them. And flapjack. Loved it. And Walker's cheese and onion crisps and pints of scrumpy and... Oh man, you got me started now. I miss a lot of stuff about England. I really do. Just those things that you sort of take for granted that you can pop down to the local shop and just get. Here, even chocolate here tastes a bit different, but I'm not really a fan of chocolate, to be honest. Right, what else? Simon Watling. No! You mean the grinder? I know. Reynolds. Makita. Simon Watling, you're a savage. I am a savage sometimes. Do you smoke cigarettes? I do, and they're in the house, so I can't have one now. I should have brought them out with me. But that's really bad. It promotes bad things to the younger viewers, so probably a good idea. Hi from California, from Pete in the USA. Hi, Pete, and hello, California, if you're also from California. K. Kulu, do you know how to disconnect daylight running lights on a Honda 250? So what you're talking about is the front indicators have two filaments on the US spec Hondas. Is that right? If that's what you've got, and when you're riding around, the indicators are illuminated, and then when you turn on the indicator, we call it in England, turn on the direction indicator, then it will flash. But I think they're only on dull. That's right, they're only on dull. That's where you've got two filaments. They're on dull all the time, and then when you put the indicator on, then it goes bright and then off and then bright and off. So yes, you can go in. There'll be three wires going to each of your two front indicators. One will be an earth. One will be the feed for the indicator for the flashing, and one will be a feed for sort of your side lights, so to speak. And you could just disconnect that. I'm sure that would work just fine. Right. Cyberbeat Australia. Very good. I'm quite jealous that your workshop is at home. I rent one on an industrial estate in Dunedin and don't think I can legally even go to that. No, you're probably right. You are probably right. You're supposed to stay at home, aren't you? I am very lucky to have a workshop at home. I've always had my workshop at home. I've never had a remote workshop. And the reason for that really was down to security. Just wasn't prepared. It's taken me a lifetime, well, half a lifetime, hopefully, to accumulate all the stuff that I have. And by any means, I don't have that much stuff. I want to keep hold of it. I don't want some little ruffian, some little scroat, well, you call them what you like the one that tried to steal Toolgirl Lily's farm bike, entering my workshop and stealing a lot of stuff out of it. When I left the UK, we couldn't take all the stuff from the workshop with us to New Zealand, and we left some in the workshop to be sold the following week. That night, less than 24 hours from leaving the farm, 2 transit vans turned up at the farm, so it was reported to me, and basically cleared the place out. Somebody knew we'd left, and they stole everything, including a little buggy that Ben had. It was a pretty cool buggy. It was petrol powered. I'd fitted a Yamaha Breeze engine to it, a 125cc Breeze. It was a Chinese buggy, but it was bloody good fun. And they stole that. They stole an air compressor, stole a couple of quad bikes, all benches, remaining hand tools and stuff. I was not impressed. Oh, and I think even the shot blasting cabinet. I mean, who steals a shot blasting cabinet, honestly? But that was sort of the mentality that would go on as soon as you let your guard down. Not a very pleasant world we live in sometimes, is it? Anyway, what have we got here? Yes, sorry Dave Ski, you're going to have to refrain your language a little bit, mate. I'm sorry, we really can't have that on the channel. We'll get rid of that one. What else have we got? Right, Abid. No, he's gone. Mark Nixon. Nixon. Mark Nixon. Hello, Mark. How's life? Welcome aboard. My God, it's an hour and a half we've been doing this for. This is ridiculous. Okay, what else have we got? Dave Ski, California should fall into the ocean. That's nice. Cheers, Dave. Yeah, you're full of wonderful comments. I can't even pronounce that one. Something, Flash. Where is the pretty girls? I think you're referring to the Andy Mechanic Tool Girls. And they are all also in lockdown in their various homes around New Zealand, and they can't be let out, unfortunately. That's it would be cause major problems if they were to escape at this point in time. Will77, do you have any experience with Milwaukee tools? I don't, actually. I've never purchased a Milwaukee tool, although lots of feedback has come through the channel to say that they are excellent tools and very well made. I do also believe, from memory, that some of the Milwaukee tools, the older models, are rebranded as Worth tools here in New Zealand and maybe elsewhere around the world too. So if you're buying a Worth rechargeable power tool, it might actually, the innards may well be Milwaukee. But they seem to be a pretty reputable brand. But I think once you go down the avenue of choosing one particular brand, you tend to stick with it because then all your batteries are interchangeable. You only need a couple of chargers. And for me, it's Makita. I chose Makita many, many years ago, not for the rechargeable tools. I think I bought my first power drill was a Makita. My first grinder was a Makita. So I've just sort of stuck with that particular brand and I've had no real problems. I mean, yeah, sure, the little rechargeable angle grinder after 13 years of ownership has finally died for the second time, but they get a hell of a lot of work. So I'm quite happy that it's given me good value for money and I'm going to fix it again. What else have we got? Right, how did you manage to shift all those loads of heavy items from the UK? Well, we sent one container from Hull. That was a 20-foot container. And then basically, and that was packed to the gunnels with stuff. And then we drove 6,000 kilometers through Europe in over about a 2-week period. 13 different countries we went through. We didn't do any motorways. It was all back roads. And we were in the Nissan Patrol long wheelbase 4.2 diesel with a manual gearbox. And we had on the back, we had a trailer. And on the trailer were all my hand tools. It was like different layers. We put like false floors and stuff in. All my hand tools down the bottom. We had a couple of quad bikes on there. We had the air compressor, my snap-on toolbox. Also, MIG welder. My Murex welder came from the UK. Absolutely fantastic piece of kit. And that welder helped me to earn quite a lot of money as soon as I arrived here in New Zealand. People always need things welding up, so that was great to have that here. It certainly helped to bring a bit of cash in. But yes, I didn't bring everything. I only probably brought 20% of what I owned out of the UK to New Zealand, which was a terrible shame. And I'm always sometimes, think, shit, I should have brought that tool with me. I mean, one of the things that really, really bugged me is I forgot to bring, I had a really nice Makita router that I used to make wooden signs with numbers on. I had all these like number templates for it and stuff. I left all that behind, and that router was pretty expensive, so I was quite gutted when I got here and I realised I'd forgotten it. But hey, you can't bring everything. That's the way it is. What else have we got? We've got loads here, look. Simon, have you got any vids on the 70s 6-volt charging systems? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. That's a really good point. We should do some of those. I was working on a XT500, which was 6-volt. Could have done some videos on that. Damn. Another one will come this way, I'm sure. Defective Medic. Hello from Texas, Australia, Andy. Texas and Australia. Wow. Stay safe and keep making great videos. I will. Thank you very much, Defective Medic. I appreciate that, and I will definitely keep making more and more videos. This is what I do. I enjoy it, and I do it for you guys. Frank Sanchez. Sorry I joined the chat so late, Andy. Greetings from Texas. Say hello to the lovely, to the Tool Girls, especially Tool Girl Jade. Cheers. I will. No doubt I'll be in contact with Jade in the next couple of weeks. See how she's. In fact, I need to ring all the Tool Girls actually and see how they're getting on. Maybe that'll make a great video. Who knows? That's a good idea, isn't it? We could ring all the Tool Girls and see how they're getting on. Leave it with me. The thought is there. Okay, I use Sean Craggs. I use Milwaukee impact gun and grinder as a mobile engineer and find them excellent. Well, that's great feedback. Thank you very much, Sean. Good job. Well, who knows? One day I might buy one just to see how I get on with it. Cyberbeat Australia. Oh wow, that's horrible. And they stole all that. They did, unfortunately. Yeah, I was worried about that. So put up security cameras around the building. So hopefully it's okay. No room at my house for a decent workshop, sadly. Yeah, it's always a problem, isn't it? If you haven't got the room for it. I mean, this workshop now. If you look back on the earlier videos when I first moved the workshop to here, this was just, I wouldn't say redundant. It was just a stripped out old, unloved garage for a car. Basically, it's 2 single garages. They're quite long. They're a lot longer than a standard single garage. And only recently we've taken out the wall that used to run down the middle, which has opened the whole thing up and made it usable, to be honest. But I do feel your pain. It's hard when you haven't got somewhere to work, and modifying this building to make it suitable has been quite expensive, to be honest. I could probably have just pulled the whole thing down and built a new workshop from scratch for the same kind of money in the end, but it would have meant that I couldn't have continued filming whilst that building project was going on. Plus, I'd have had nowhere to store stuff, so it's been quite a juggling act trying to get the workshop sorted out. Lots of additional work to modify it. What else we got here? Dave Ski. Dave, honestly. K. Kulu. When was the last time you visited England? The day I left. 11 years ago. Never been back. And unfortunately, never will be back. Dave Ski, do you like 2-stroke Detroit? I do. Yes, I think the Detroit 2-stroke diesels are awesome. I've watched quite a few videos on those. And again, never seen one in real life. Well, in a museum I have, but not worked on one. I would love to work on one day, and I should really keep my eye open to try and buy one. But there's not really many, again, here in New Zealand. Maybe more in the plant vehicles and farm vehicles, possibly the old farm vehicles, but certainly not in the automotive world here in New Zealand. Not definitely not. Nice work from Yusuf. Nice workshop, buddy. Cheers. I appreciate that. Now, what's next? Well, we've done the new website thing. I've told you where you can go and get Andy Mechanic merch at zazzle.co.nz. You'll find on there, you can get yourself I haven't got one yet, I've ordered one. You can get yourself a nice new Andy Mechanic mug. There's key rings on there. You can get your wife a pair of nice Andy Mechanic leggings for taking her down to the pub. And what else? That's it. And there's a second style of mug as well at the moment, but there'll be lots more stuff to go on there when I get time to design it all for you. Oh, by the way, what do you think to the new Andy Mechanic sort of graphics? You know, with the extracts of wiring diagrams and schematics. That's the word I was looking for. Schematics out of old service manuals and stuff. We've got a picture of if you look at the leggings on there, we've got all sorts of different images that I've lifted from old manuals I thought it was quite cool. But some feedback would be really nice because, you know, I sort of do this thing blindfold. I do things, put it out there to you guys, and either you like it or you don't. But if you tell me what you think to it, I've got to design a new banner for the homepage of the YouTube channel at some point, which will be along those themes as well. So hopefully, I'm getting my I'm you know, ticking all the right boxes. But let me know. Tell me what you think. Oh, by the way, I still have, believe it or not, 2 Andy Mechanic Tool Girl calendars left. So if you want one, watch the video about how to order it and I'll get it sent out to you. There's only 2, the last 2, and I'm not sure if I'll do any next year. We'll wait and see. John Tyson. Statute of limitations, Andy. They should let you back in the UK somehow. I know. I'm quite happy here, thanks. Dave Ski, you're going to get hidden again. Sorry, mate. Okay, so we've got here Geo. Oh, retracted. Slingshot Dingo. Have you ever been involved in motorcycle racing in any way, and would it interest you to do so? Yes, I'm not directly in the pits, but I used to go an awful lot to Oliver's Mount and Castle Donington, and there was a particular day at Castle Donington that I will never forget. Oh, and I've been to the Isle of Man as well. Castle Donington, there was the Norton Rotary was racing. I think it was it John Haslam was riding it at the time? Sure it was. And I actually bought the little John Player special patch to go on my leather jacket that day. And yeah, I don't have that anymore, unfortunately. That was one of the things that I left in England. But I'll never forget that Norton coming out of a corner, and most of the pack was ahead of him because he had to slow right down for the corners because of the gyroscopic effect that the engine created. But then when he got on the next straight, he just reeled them all in. He just got pretty much to the front of the pack again, to the next corner. He had to slow right down. The pack would come past, and then the next straight, zoom, off he'd go again. Phenomenal bike, so quick. Oh, Mrs. Mechanic's here. Hang on a second. She might bring me a coffee. Just give me a second. What have we got? Oh my word. Thank you very much. Where's my cigarettes? God damn. She didn't even bring me my cigarettes. Right, what have we got? Well, we've got... Yeah, look. Oh, there's always a bit of a delay. It's quite funny watching the live stream on the laptop. So, I did buy myself, and I'm sure you've all heard of him, a Colin Furs mug. Look at that. Fantastic. So, if you are watching this, Colin, or if any of you out there know Colin or watch his videos, cheers. Fantastic. That's coffee. So we've switched from coffee, and she's brought me a bun. It's not homemade. Look at that. Very nice. Oh my word, I'll just get one. Thank you. Look. Haha, got a cigarette. We'll save that a bit later on. So we've got the nice bun, not homemade. I think it's the last one she bought actually. And a nut bar, just to keep me going, because we're on to 1 hour and 43 minutes. That's ridiculous. And we've got 42 people, 44 people watching. So hello everybody. Welcome to the Andy Mechanic live stream. Good to have you on board, and I hope you enjoy this. Now, what I have noticed on this since the last live stream is nobody has done one of those monetized question things. You know, where you pay. I even forgot the name of it now. Now, I'm pleased about that because when the payment came through after the live stream, about 50% of the donations that came through, they go to YouTube. I only received 50% of whatever was donated. So I'd rather you'd support the channel in a different way, to be honest. It's just a bit more, you know, where the majority of what you donate comes through. So you can do that through, if you want to help, you can do that through PayPal. There's an icon on the homepage of the channel. Or you can become a patron to the channel. You can drop onto the Patreon page. And I'm going to be working on that over the next few weeks. Because believe it or not, a bit more time on my hands. Anyway, but those that do support the channel and have in the past, I know Simon sent me some stuff for the lathe, really, really appreciate it. If you want to post anything through to me, send me a parcel of something, I don't mind what it is, whether it's an old tool that you had and you want to tell me all about it, or whatever, you can send that through to the PO Box address, which is Andy Mechanic, PO Box 6265, and that's Wellesley Street, Auckland, and the postcode is 1141. It takes usually about 4 to 6 weeks to get here because we're in the middle of frigging nowhere. So do have a bit of patience if you've sent something through, and if you do send something through, I can guarantee I will give you a bit of time on one of the videos, whether it's a mail call video or actually in one of the normal videos that I put out, or maybe even a live stream, who knows. So, Dave Ski, a normal question, Dave, well done. Do I have any pets? Yes, I do. We have a goldfish called 47, I think it is, or 42. 42, sorry, called 42, and that's the number 42. I have no idea why Charlotte called it 42. It's called 42. And we have a little dog called Marmite. That's the same kind of stuff that you spread on your toast, called Marmite, because she's got little brown patches that are just like Marmite. We did have a little rabbit called Patch, but unfortunately, and Patch was like a rescue rabbit. He'd lost one of his eyes due to some kind of infection, and he was a real battler. But unfortunately, we got him a nice new hutch, and within about a week, something broke into his new hutch and decided to eat him, basically, which was a bit of a shame. So we've buried him. 42 is the answer to the universe. Well, there you go. That's why Charlotte's very clever. She comes up with all sorts of quirky names for stuff. So Patch is now buried up the garden, what's left of him. They made him a nice little gravestone and stuff. Anyway, we digress. What else have we got? Quarantined in the garage. Every guy's dream. I know. There's one thing, well, there's probably 4 or 5 things missing. If we'd had the tool girls here as well, quarantined in the garage with me, then I would have been in heaven. But unfortunately, that isn't the case, and it can't happen. But I have got Mrs. Mechanic here to keep me well fed. She keeps bringing me stuff, which is really nice, because this live stream is great. I could talk all day long with this. Brajan, is it? Is that pronounced right? Or is it Brakan? Moderator. Greetings from Poland. Hello, Poland. I think you're the first one on board today from Poland. So greetings from New Zealand, and I hope things are not too bad in your part of the world. Here we went into lockdown at midnight last night, and can't leave the house for 4 weeks minimum, to be honest. And I got told yesterday I'm going to get paid for the next 6 weeks. So at least I know my job is safe. Okay, next thing. I've got my little list of stuff here. What else have we got? Carport. Well, since I managed to get the wall taken out of the workshop, Mrs. Mechanic went, hey, look, you've got some stuff to do outside your workshop. You've put a lot of effort into the workshop recently. How about you get that carport built? And it was something that I wanted to build as well, because it gives me a lot more undercover area to work on vehicles. I can work on a car out there and not have to bring it inside the workshop, which takes up a lot of space. So the carport, all the timber framing is done, the main framing. I've still got some little runners to do between the main beams, and then I can get the roof put on, do the guttering, and it's finished. But again, that's currently on hold. Other than I can make the brackets. Pretty sure I've got the steel work to make the brackets that are going to hold these timber runners in place, because I don't usually fix timber to timber. I usually have a steel bracket between the two. That's just the way I do it. It makes a lot more work for me to do, but that's just the way it is. I like to make stuff out of steel. I like my joints to be steel and then just bolt the timber to it. What else have we got? Geocherian, 150cc Honda bike. The aluminium threads on the engine to bolt the starter motor got stripped. Request Andy Mechanic solution. Okay, well, like Simon mentioned earlier on, you could potentially, well, you can't go up a bolt size because those bolts, I think, are these separate bolts? I haven't got a starter motor kicking around, but are these the bolts that run through the casing of the starter motor that then go into the casing of the engine, so that it's like integral, the mounting is integral to the starter? Or are these separate bolts, usually separate bolts? In that case, you could go from maybe an M6 is probably what holds it in place on a little 150cc. Probably drill the holes in the starter to an 8mm, and then you could tap out. So you have to do a 6.8mm drill, to drill the casing on the bike, and then tap that out M8, and then you can use your next bolt size up, an M8 bolt. That was weird. Something moved. So yes, quite easy. If you want to send me an email with some pictures, then maybe I can give you some more detailed and accurate advice based on your current situation. But the email address is andyMechanic@live.co.uk. Send it through. I'll do what I can to help. Now, Pete. Oh, Pete wants to buy a mug. Okay, Pete, what you need to do is go on to www.zazzle, that's Zazzzel, pretty sure it is. Let me just double check. I'll just double check because I only did it. I only did this about 2 days ago. So yes, okay. So it's www.zazzle, Zazzle, not el, le.co.nz, and then just do a search for Andy Mechanic YouTube. That's one word, Andy Mechanic YouTube. It'll take you through to the page where all these Andy Mechanic merchandise is shown, and you can buy mugs and keyrings and bits and pieces. I think the leggings have already sold out, but they should be getting some more in soon, hopefully. Okay, right. Well, I think it's time for a cigarette, to be honest. Sorry, kids. Don't watch Andy have a cigarette. Right, let's go back onto the chat and see what's going on. Pete. Oh, there we go. Pete, yep. So let me know, Pete, if you've managed to order one. Okay. Sure, thank you. Okay, yes. So send me that email through and I'll do what I can to help you fix your starter motor mount. Gordon Abbott. Hi, bud. Me and the missus are on holiday here in New Zealand from the UK in Porirua. Where the hell's that? I don't recognise that name. On holiday. And we're on lockdown. How does that work for you? Are you stuck in your hotel room or tent or whatever it is for the next 4 weeks? Tell me what's going on, because man, you must have just made it through, because the borders are basically closed now, aren't they? I think if you come to New Zealand now, you automatic 2-week quarantine. So I don't know. I mean, we're in level 4 now, so it's basically 4 weeks quarantine, isn't it? Louis Zankin, Andy, got a Honda Dio. I've worked on those. 110cc, 2012, insurance recovered. I replaced the ignition barrel. Need re-registered, but need certificate again. Any idea of a good place to take? Yes, I do. Are you in Auckland? If you're in Auckland, go to Seatbelt Specialists. They're in Glenfield. Just Google it. Seatbelt Specialists in Glenfield, and speak to Trevor. He's the manager there, and he will do his very best to help you. However, I will tell you now, to get the bike recerted, so it's re-registered for the road, is not cheap. It's about $600 usually, and for small scooters, that often tends to render it not viable. But if it's a really nice, clean scooter and you got it cheap enough, then go for it, because I hate to see things go on the scrap heap just for the sake of a bit of red tape. What else have we got? Brojan moderator. I will say you have a cool intro beginning the movie. Well, I do try, and a lot of people tell me off for having too long an intro, but some movies and TV programs have much longer intros, so it's going to stay as it is. I think it's short enough, and I'm very, very pleased that you enjoy the intro. I tend to change it up about every 6 months, so there you go. So watch out for the next one, probably in about another 3 months' time. Okay, we can show that. Hang on, where's my little mouse gone? Simon Watling, loving the ciggy. It's not often I smoke on camera, to be honest. But yeah, they are very expensive here in New Zealand now, and I only smoke maybe 2 or 3 a day now. Partly because of the cost. Have I tried vaping? I've never tried vaping. I've heard all sorts of weird rumours about vaping, whether it's good for you, bad for you. It's got I don't know. I'd probably just rather just give up smoking, to be honest. But I only started when I was 37, so I've been smoking for about 10 years. Okay, off-road fan. 4 weeks quarantine in your workshop. Enough time to clean all your tools, yes, and to reorganize them in the new toolbox I noticed in your on your trailer axle video. Yes, the new toolbox is it's right in the corner down there. Look, it's one of those really wide rollers, and at the moment, temporarily, it's got. Mrs. Mechanic came into the workshop one day and she sorted out all my new nuts and bolts. So each drawer, top drawer is M5 and M6, second drawer is M8, then it's M10, then it's M12, which is mainly the bolts for the beams up here that I've got left over. And the next drawer is odds and sods, and then the two big drawers are all power tools at the moment, but it's all going to get reworked, and eventually the nuts and bolts will be on some racking on, around the workshop. They won't be in a roll cab, which is crazy use for an expensive roll cab like that. But yes, it's really nice to have it as an addition. And what I do try to do in the workshop is to have as much stuff as possible on wheels, on rollers, casters, so I can move it around and the whole workshop stays fluid. Because sometimes I've got to get quite a large vehicle in here, and it's nice to be able to make more space in certain areas to accommodate that. Even the Teng Tools racking that's behind the banner with all the other motorcycles, that has the ability to be put on casters, same as the roll cabs. So that's something I'm looking into at the moment, but I'm not too sure how sturdy they'll be with all the weight on them. Could be a bit heavy to move around, but it's an option certainly. Gordon Abbott, we're with family and okay, Gordon, you're with family and grandchildren. Good job. Defective medic. Have to head off to work, brother. Stay safe, everyone. Cheers, matey. Thanks for joining us. And I'm sorry I ramble on so much, but have a good day at work and stay safe. That's the important thing, isn't it? Okay. Brojan, what tool manufacturers do you recommend? Well, obviously for rechargeable power tools, you'll see lots of Makitas around the workshop. I'm not sponsored by Makita in any way. It's just the brand that I chose to purchase years ago, and I've stuck with them, and they've been really, really good to me. I don't have any real feedback. I mean, I've had viewers tell me that the Milwaukee brand is really good. I think Bosch has gone downhill quite a bit since I first started buying Bosch. The quality isn't quite so good. I do have a Metabu, or pronounce it as you like, grinder, which is still working strong. I did replace the brushes about 2 months ago, and they hadn't worn out. I just did a preventative maintenance thing after about 20 years, and they were still fine. That grinder has got to be one of the best grinders I've ever come across. It's powerful, and it never fails me. It's what I use with my slit discs for cutting those big beams and stuff, and it's great. It takes the little 5-inch discs, just like the same size disc. Oh my word, there's some flyers in here. As the rechargeable grinder there, look. There you go. Time for another drink, I think. Great stuff. So, another one. Here we go. This is going to go on forever, isn't it? David Farrell Ty. I love Milwaukee half-inch impact. If it doesn't open it, it breaks it. Yeah, those big impact wrenches. I've got the Makita one, the 1,000 newton meter. I think it's a 1002 model. That's a phenomenal piece of kit, and you do have to be careful with it. You can't just have it on full power all the time and do up wheel nuts and stuff. It's great for undoing stuff. That's its main task. But if you come to do things up, I always put it on the lowest setting, and even then, sometimes it'll over torque things. So it's just not an option. You can't use it for tightening some nuts and bolts up, especially the smaller stuff. I just revert back to the 3/8 impact wrench that I've got, and then I'll go around and torque everything up after that. Just got to be careful. They are getting more and more powerful these days, but it does mean that you can shift bolts that you wouldn't normally be able to undo. Fantastic piece of kit. Tools Bosch reviews. Yeah, well, I don't have too many Bosch stuff around. I've got an old mains powered drill impact, for drilling masonry holes and stuff, and that thing really is on its last legs. I was really struggling to drill through the concrete with it the other day, so I'm gonna have to get a new one of those. Oh, Pete, you successfully bought a mug. Well done, matey. Thank you for that. And don't forget, if you send me through a selfie with your mug and your favourite cup of tea in there, favourite tea, send it to andymechanic@live.co.uk, and I will definitely post that somewhere on the social media, probably Instagram, and I might even include it in one of my videos as well. So good on you, mate. Thanks for buying one of those mugs. Do appreciate it. And I'm sure it'll last you for years and years and years. David Farrell Ty, facts, especially newer cars with two-piece discs, can warp them by putting wheel bolts in with a gun. Yeah, things are getting. Hang on, that's it. It's gone. Things are getting lighter as cars, car manufacturers strive for improved economy and so on, and cheapness. You know, reduced manufacturing costs. Things are getting lighter and less durable. I mean, you look at the old Nissan Patrol that I have, and it's built like a tank. The old Land Rovers built like tanks. The old Land Cruisers built like tanks. You look at the new ones, and even the Utes nowadays, the pickup trucks, are a lot lighter construction on the chassis and the running gear. And I think that's to do with trying to reduce the overall weight of the vehicle to improve fuel economy. But it does come at a detriment. I mean, with the old Safari, Ben asked me a few years ago when it was still on the road, and it's not on the road now, it's too rusty for that. But it does start, and I move it around the workshop and the garden on a regular basis. It's very useful. It's got a nice big winch on the front and stuff. Terrible shame, and I will be buying another one out of Japan at some point and transferring all the gear across to the new one. But again, that's just on my wish list. He asked me one day to move a 20-foot container across the car park for him. So I just drove up to it. It was empty, fortunately. I just drove up to it, put a couple of old tyres between the bull bar and the container, and just pushed it to where he wanted it. You couldn't really do that in a modern vehicle. It would just damage the front of it. I mean, this has an ARB bull bar on it, and it just first gear low box. It just set off pushing this container across the car park. It just wasn't an issue. Fantastic piece of kit. And I owe an awful lot to that particular vehicle. It's what got me to New Zealand. It never let me down. It never has let me down. It's just, unfortunately, the sunroof started to leak. It has a really big sunroof in it, I used to do, and it started to leak, and I didn't realise, and the water was getting down inside the roof, and a lot of the roof inside had started to rust quite badly, and it was all hidden by the roof lining, so you just didn't know until it was too late, and that was a terrible shame. Plus, the back of the chassis started to rust a little bit, and it needs some repairs. So maybe one day, when I build the big workshop, I'm going to build a big barn type workshop, I can get it in there and get it fully stripped, and maybe get a different shell for it. Who knows? But no, I owe an awful lot to that truck. It's been a fantastic machine. And if you ever have a chance to buy a Nissan Patrol, the GR, we call it in the UK, it's the coil sprung version. They are a phenomenal piece of kit. A proper workhorse. Not particularly fast on the road, but tremendous amounts of torque and incredibly durable. I mean, that vehicle's, it's done over 650,000 kilometers now. That's when the speedo stopped working. It's done a lot more since then, I think. And it's still on things like original wheel bearings. It's got original universal joints in the prop shafts. None of that's ever been replaced. It's still on the original clutch. How cool is that? Well done, Nissan. Please make more vehicles like that. We need durable vehicles. We don't want stuff that's going to expire in a few years and need replacement and cost a fortune for parts as well. Okay, David. I work for Mercedes. Wow, yes, I did actually work for Mercedes for a short time in Barcelona. And they say if you drop a brake disc before fitting it, it's scrap. And all the arms and hubs are aluminium and bend with the slightest hit. Again, another side effect, isn't it? You know, I mean, I suppose it's partly to do with absorbing impact. If there is an accident, you know, the aluminium is going to absorb some of the energy of the impact and hopefully protect the occupants in the vehicle, the occupant passenger sort of cage, so to speak, where they all sit. But also for lightness and cheap to produce. Aluminium is cheap, but you're right, it does get damaged a lot easier. Something there in a language that I can't understand. Leo, hi from Germany. What made you leave England? Well, I left England because of the global financial crisis, and the business that I had in the UK was essentially tourism, and of course during those kind of economic times, tourism really struggles. Tourist-based businesses do really struggle to keep afloat. And I decided not to ride out the storm and instead pack up my things and get to New Zealand, where I'd already bought a house a few years earlier, because I felt that it was time to move on, do something different. And I'm very pleased that I did, because if I hadn't done that, we wouldn't have an Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. And I love the channel. I really enjoy doing what I do and engaging, especially these live streams, engaging with the viewers. People like you. It's what makes the whole thing worthwhile, isn't it? The Salamander 121. Not like the Nissan Juke. No, nothing like the Nissan Juke. Nissan, like most car manufacturers, and I think even Land Rover now would have to put their hand up to this. They've stopped producing the Defender, the 110s and the 90s and stuff. They were really their workhorse vehicle, and Nissan's done the same thing. That you can't buy that style of machine anymore. The big four-wheel drives that Nissan produce, they still make the Patrol, but it's nothing like the old Patrols that they used to build. Same with the Land Cruisers and stuff. The old ones built like a brick shithouse. The new stuff, it's just like a big car, you know. Okay, Brian, moderator, goodbye. I'm sorry I pronounced your name completely wrong. I'll try and get it right next time. I've no idea how to pronounce it. Sorry. God, we're over 2 hours. This is crazy. David, front crash frame on the new GLE carbon composite. Also, are you on lockdown or quarantine? We're on lockdown here in New Zealand. I don't have, as far as I'm aware, the virus. Everybody in New Zealand is on lockdown. There are a small number of businesses still operating that service the primary industries like farming. They have to continue to operate. Supermarkets are still open, although they haven't got a lot to sell at the moment. Especially toilet roll. There's bugger all. I've got, where is it now? Hang on. There you go, look. Currency. This is the New Zealand currency at the moment. And I've seen this on a number of different YouTube videos around the world, that toilet rolls are becoming the new currency. Unbelievably ridiculous, isn't it? What is the world coming to, honestly? Anyway, so where are we now? One last plug for the Zazzle. How's that? So there's a new range, or a growing range, of Andy Mechanic merchandise out there. This is how you can help support the channel. If you drop on to zazzle.co.nz, you can go on there, and there's some new Andy Mechanic mugs available for sale, and of course key rings as well. And there are some leggings, some Tool Girl leggings on there, and the whole array of Andy Mechanic merchandise is going to grow. In the future, in about 6 to 8 months, there'll be an Andy Mechanic website up and running, which is e-commerce, and you'll be able to buy a lot more stuff from there as well. You can also donate through Patreon or through the PayPal icon, which is on the Andy Mechanic homepage. There's little tiny icons embedded in the banner on the bottom right hand side of the banner. You can click onto that and it'll take you through. There is also a couple of Andy Mechanic Tool Girl calendars left. If you want a calendar, then there's a video on the channel explaining how you can purchase one of those, and I will get it sent out to you as soon as I possibly can, should the order come through. Well, time for another drink out of my look, keep calm and wear a safety tie. Good job, Colin. Okay, any last questions before I go? Because we're going to have to sign off, aren't we? 2 hours and 8 minutes is a long, long time for a live stream. But saying that, everything's still working, which is good. Okay, Simon, here we go, look. Farmers in the UK like the Toyota Hilux. They do, the old Hilux. There isn't a farmer out there that hasn't got the old Hilux. I think it's a 2.4, normally aspirated diesel in those things. Really slow, but they run forever. And there's quite a few of those over here in New Zealand as well. Still battling on. Totally unroadworthy, but they work just fine on the farm. And if I had a farm, the old Nissan Patrol will be out there working hard as well. David, we're still considered essential here in Ireland, but our dealers are closed next week. At least I'll get my bike together. Yes, I mean, here in New Zealand, a lot of the motorcycle dealers around the country that service and repair farm ATVs and ROVs have decided to remain open because those farmers need the need that support. They need their vehicles to do their job, and the government has given guidelines of to which businesses can and can't be open, and they most certainly do fit the criteria to remain open should the owner of the business decide that that's what they want to do. And my role in my day job is to support a particular brand of those dealers, those dealerships. And even though I'm on, I think it's called special leave at the moment, I am going to continue to support them. And as soon as I finish this live stream, I'll be changing my shirt and I'll be getting back on the phone and helping them. But I felt this was an important thing to do this morning based on the fact that New Zealand went into lockdown last night, and we're in lockdown for 4 weeks. Never checked so far. International shipping on mugs. Yes, they do ship all over the world. Obviously, the cost of the shipping of a mug or whatever it is that you buy from the Zazzle website is dependent on the country it goes to, I think. So you'll just need to price it up and see if it's a viable option for you. As regards shipping for the calendars, I think it was about $10 for within New Zealand, and I capped it at $20 around the world. So if it's more than $20, then I just pay the extra shipping because I think it's great that you have a calendar. Now then, Jimmy Lincoln, thanks Andy, stay safe. Cheers Jimmy, and we'll see you next time, eh? Thanks for joining us. The Salamander 121, have you ever thought about doing a collab with another YouTuber? I have. It's quite difficult to organise, especially now it's impossible at the moment. I have, and I'd love to. I mean, Eric O from South Main Auto, I get on with Eric really well, and some of the other automotive engineers out there that also have YouTube channels as well. I mean, Steve Robb is a retired engineer from the automotive industry, and he was very, very helpful and gave me a lot of guidance when I first started the channel, the do's and don'ts of running a YouTube channel. I had no idea. So I do talk to Steve on a regular basis, maybe not as regular as I should do, but he's a good friend. He really is, and as are many of the other YouTube channels. I mean, I've spoken to Ivan a few times over the years, and many of the other ones as well, and we get on really well. And Keith is always sending me messages, and yeah, good guys, really are. Now then, Simon Watling, toilet rolls are okay, but we need tool girls. Good to see you smoking a ciggy. Would go for the vape though. Yeah, it's not often I smoke a cigarette, and especially on camera, to be perfectly honest. But you might see the pack of ciggies just lurking in the background now and again on the video. I do try and hide them away a little bit. Yes, I know you need tool girls. We all need tool girls. But at the moment, everybody's on lockdown in New Zealand. We're not allowed out of the houses. And the tool girls are all up in Auckland at the moment, just doing what they need to do to get through this terrible situation. But I am in regular contact with them, and I do plan, potentially at least, there's an idea behind giving each of them a call on the phone, and we'll do a video on that just to see how they're all coping. Kay Allen, I'm glad you're staying active. You've got to stay active. I'm not the kind of person that can just sit on the couch and watch TV all day. I just can't do it. I have things to do. I've got lots of stuff, lots of projects on the go. And of course, I'm going to continue to be doing my day job as well, certainly for the foreseeable future. Whilst the dealers out there need my assistance to help with diagnostic issues and so on with various bikes, I want to help them. They need my help, and I'm quite happy to give it. That's what I do at the end of the day. You know, we're all in this together. Well, that's about it for the chat. We're about there. We've still got 33 people watching, 35 people watching. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. It's not often I do live streams. I probably will do a few more given the current circumstances. The feedback that I get, the number of questions that come through. You guys give the live stream the content. You ask me the questions and I do my best to answer them. Thank you for not asking me too many technical questions. You know, my area of expertise is quite limited in certain areas, but I'll always do my very best to help. And if I don't know something, if you send me an email through, I'll do my very best to find out. What's the best racetrack in New Zealand? Well, there's Hampton Downs, that's pretty good. And there's a little one at Pukekohe as well. And there's plenty of others around New Zealand. Cheers, matey. Kia kaya as well. I'll see you around. Okay, crew, I've got to sign off. I've got jobs to do, things to fix, and videos to make. Until next time, over and out. And don't forget, drop onto that Zazzle website if you fancy getting yourself a nice new mug. It's not this one. This is Colin Furz's mug, and I do often support other YouTube channels as well. I do really appreciate the videos that Colin puts together. Most entertaining they are, and he's an absolute expert at not only making videos but making all sorts of weird stuff as well. All right, crew. Cheers, Simon. I'll see you around. See you guys. Over and out.